What's happening? What's going on? What it do? What it is? Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. You know what I'm saying? Doing another My Thoughts video, just randomly out the blue. I need to put these things in there because I say to myself when I want to bring them out, and then sometimes, because I thought I was going to do something yesterday, but I didn't. And the wife went walking and did some other stuff. And then I kind of got lost. And then I was like, well, I guess I'll try to do this today. So anyway, so here I am today. So, but anyway, I'll try to plan this. I'll try to plan my thoughts out a little bit better so people can know when I'm going to do it. You've been noticing I've been doing it once a week. So I'll be doing these once a week. Anyway, got some things to want to talk about. It's been a very, 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 very eventful week in gaming. And it's actually, this generation has been ridiculously eventful. Like, it's just mad eventful. But anyway, for anybody out there checking out the podcast for the very first time, whatever, welcome, thank you. I really do appreciate you guys coming through. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I've been saying and promising that I'm going to get to the streaming, doing Fight Night and everything else, and I just have not. I think that I'm on a mental type of hiatus right now. And so I got to get it. So I got to get into gear. And once I do it, I'll be back on it. But I just been like, hey man, I'm chilling. So anyway, as you can see, with the stuff that I've been playing, right here, I'll let you show this gameplay of me losing my damn mind. I'm gonna tell you this right now. That goddamn Rap King was a problem. He was a problem for me. There was only like 3 things so far that I've gone against. That I went against that was a problem, but the Rat King was a severe problem for me. I think I had to fight this bastard like almost 20 times, but I didn't know about the other secret stuff that was in this level. I did not know this level was this massive. So I did everything in this level. So then once I figured out everything that I needed, I was like, gotcha. And yeah, but anyway, so I'm past it now. But my goodness, was he a problem for me? Because I was thinking like, well, man, I'm getting close because I would get him to like a quarter, even a quarter or less with just what I had. But man, it was just like at the end, like when you're fighting one of these main bosses, they get more intense, and it seemed like they get a little bit more powerful. So they come out and they hit you extra hard. So it was like, so anyway, but yeah, I am really enjoying Black Myth. Really good game. I'm also enjoying Star Wars. Haven't been putting as much time into it because I've been all in on Black Myth, and I've been staying committed to my season with college football. And so I know that I was going to start streaming that, but I did not like the new rules that they implemented. And so it's kind of like, because they put everything on Heisman, and you could tell that they lowered some things, and it just doesn't feel right. So it doesn't feel like how it is. Like, it should be played on All American. I used to be a person that be on always on Heisman or All Madden years, because that used to be like, well, then you got to be a real one. But then the more and more that I figured out, you got more, it takes more skill to play on All Pro and on All American in college, because you have to do a little bit more to figure out a defense instead of like having the computer be your defensive guide on it. But regardless of all that. But anyways, but the gameplay sluggish. It's just, I don't know what they did, but they're trying to do something because there's money involved. And I knew that there was going to be some kind of slimy stuff going on. But regardless, I'm 3-0 right now. You know what I'm saying? I took care of business with the first one. And then the first game against Florida, because I had to pick Miami, and then have 2 cupcakes. But the way that you playing on Heisman, ain't nobody a cupcake. But I still won by two touchdowns. So against Ball State by all thing. Anyway, regardless, but it is what it is. Yeah, but let me go ahead and see. Chili up here. He's saying fanboys are celebrating the death of Concord. Concord represents everything they don't want Sony to do. That is definitely what we're going to be talking about today. But I want to first talk about Astrobot, because that now I'm looking and seeing the stands going crazy, and they're like, oh my goodness, look at this is fantastic. And then I'm over here looking at this, and I don't know. I haven't talked to my brother Kid Smooth in a while, right? You know what I'm saying? Usually we hop in and we talk with Attic and Smooth. on occasion. Since I've been on kind of my hiatus, I ain't really been speaking to anybody. I just been gaming, doing my thing, right? Um, but I don't know what's happening to my brother, man. He just seems like he's just giving up the ghost. Because he posted something here, I guess about an hour ago, where he said PlayStation beat Xbox masterfully in a year when it had no games. Bruh, shout out to PlayStation for having all of the Game of the Year nominees this year. Listen, if that don't sound like being defeated, I don't know what that. Listen, man, if PlayStation wins Game of the Year, which they most likely will with whatever, they'll probably give it to Astro by. Just because they had the exclusivity deal doesn't, because I mean, think about this for us perspective. Put this in perspective. Let's say that Indiana Jones, right, which will not be a candidate for anything because it's going to be set in the game doesn't come out until December. But let's just say Xbox kept that as an exclusive for a year or for however long people would have suggested it, right? What's going on with you, Yobi? Would you really think, and let's say that hypothetically that Indiana Jones was that good, was that game, everybody loved it, it was fantastic, and it won Game of the Year. Would you really think that the stands would allow, and even some Xbox people would allow that game to be labeled as an Xbox game, even though everybody would for sure label it that way? Bro, I know Anime Gamer. Yeah, Smooth been fighting on the front lines for years. He's just tired of fighting. But you don't give up. You don't sit there and just submit yourself you don't succumb to the throat needle ever. You fight till the end. You just don't, you know what I'm saying? You just don't give in to the BS. You just don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, Sony the tactic is yes, it's masterful the way that it's projected, right? But in the sense, going back to my point, would the stands or even some Xbox gamers give that game the kudos to Xbox? I know some would for sure because it would win Game of the Year, and then people would say it'd be the first Xbox exclusive to win a Game of the Year since Halo or whenever or however. But they would come once that game came out on PlayStation. That would have been non-void. It would have been over. They would have took it and said that it didn't matter because that's not a true Xbox first. They would have made every excuse about it. And we all know that Square Enix has already said, listen, we're going to be back on the streets. We about to thought these Final Fantasies because because the PlayStation community is just not bought in like we thought that they were going to buy in. Everything from the PlayStation 4 era, no, it ain't happening in the PlayStation 5 era. The only thing that they can really brag about is the fact that they're selling consoles, and they're not even selling consoles nowhere near the clip of what the PlayStation 4 is doing. So again, it's just what the reality is. But I get it. I get what he's saying because of the situation with Black Myth. What the situation is with. There's another game that came out and was bringing up was an indie title. We showed it on GRG. I thought it was a PlayStation exclusive there when they first announced it, because it was first announced on Keely's game show, not game show, but his Summer Game Fest, and it came out to be like it was a PlayStation exclusive. So, but then come to find out, but it's not. And then it's all about the situation with the Series S and all that. But anyway. Listen, Black Myth is not a PlayStation game. The Final Fantasies are not first-party PlayStation games. Yes, they get this. They get the rights to them. They hold it. What they did with Black Myth, nobody can actually. Everybody now knows that they own the take. They gave them the money to hold it. It's a new secret tactic that they're doing. Okay, it's whatever, right? But to sound like that is ridiculous to me. It just doesn't make any difference. I mean, everybody will be able to play that Black Myth here sometime next month or by somewhere the first quarter of next year or some point next year. It's going to be on everything. So to me, it's like, doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? But I think really personally, Astrobot will probably be that game. And what's another thing too that really cracks me up, right? Like, I'm not trying to dismiss anything about Astrobot. I mean, when we first seen it, we were like, oh, that I said it was going to be a hit. Like, I said, oh, this looks tough. This look right. But here comes the media. Here comes Jeff Keighley, because Jeff Keighley wasn't saying anything about Concord. We'll get to that here a little bit later. But here he comes talking about Astrobot. Here comes the numbers, 94, blah, blah, blah. Great. But here comes the BS. Oh, this game is better than Mario 64. Oh, this game is the new Mario World 2 or what? Like, you know what I get sick of about these new age kids these days? Is that they always try to compare about something in the past as though something in the past was trash because something new is now popped up. They do it in sports. They do it with music. It's highly disrespectful. Listen, place Astrobot. Like, we'll get to the point to where people will make the decision if Astrobot is hot. And mostly everybody that's had a chance to play it has said it's a really good game, which I don't doubt. I'm not trying to discredit the game, right? I'm just trying to say, come on, pump the brakes. You know what I'm saying? There's no other company that does platformers better than Nintendo. And I know that Sony can throw a couple of them out there every once in a while that hits, but this ain't going to be the one that's going to overthrow any Nintendo platformer. It's just not. I mean, Nintendo is the king. They're God tier when it comes to it. And when you even come with that comparison to something that goes near a legacy God tier title, It makes me sus. It makes you shrug my shoulders and say, "Stop it! It don't make any damn sense." What up with you, Sour Blow? Pause. it just don't make any sense. Like, it's just like what I said in sports. Like, I get tired. Listen, I don't ever. And 108 always wants to throw a little something at me because he's a LeBron James fan, which there's no problem with that, right? But stop trying to compare him to Jordan, bro. He is not Jordan. He's great in this era. He's the greatest player in this era right now, right? Have it. He's good. He's up there he's up there in the Mount Rushmore of basketball players all time. But he ain't Jordan, bro. He's just not. I've watched both of these players from both of them being rookies, from both of them to when they retire. He ain't better than Jordan, bro. He just won't be, and he never will be. It's just the facts. The numbers say it, bro. I'm not going to get to the sports stuff, but I'm just saying that. But the disrespect of where some of these kids, oh, look at LeBron doing this and doing that, blah blah blah. It's great. I love it. But we got to stop this comparison. And then we got some of these new age rappers and music that sits there and dog out like the old rappers like Biggie and Pac and all that. Like, what, bro? Y'all music don't even sound hot. That's why rap music is down. People ain't buying this shit. Now y'all making more money because of the streaming stuff, but it ain't popping. You know what I'm saying? You can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it's you know, I don't know. Like, the last time I went to the club, you know what I'm saying, for our reunion, and I said, oh, you know what? I rarely do step into the younger spots, but I said, let's do it. Hell with it. And I'm going in there and I made the point of, like, they had them, you know what I'm saying? You had the music bumping or whatever, and it's cool club music, but ain't nobody doing nothing. The women are dancing, but the dudes are just standing there. They're afraid to dance. And you know what I'm saying? I don't get it, man. I don't know. These new age stuff is wild to me, man. Stop comparing stuff like this, man. Just say this game is great. It's going to be a future generational hit. I will buy all in on that. But all this craziness, come on, man. Come on. Yeah, come on, man. So I just, you know what I'm saying? I don't get it. Loke said, Yobi said, Loke said he was going to hit you up the other. Oh yeah, he hit me up. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've had quite a few people hit me up about me ending GRG. Our last episode will be in December. We're not going to have another show until in December, right after that Friday after the VGAs, because the VGAs is always land on a Thursday. That Friday, that'll be the last one. But yeah, no, he hit me up about it. But I've been getting hit up about it or whatever. So, by quite a few people, you know what I'm saying? Really appreciate it or whatever. But anyway, it's time to move on from that. But yeah, I don't, you know what I'm saying? Listen, let the game live and breathe and then set itself apart and be in its own space, right? Why do every game has to be better than something that was already great before? Why does this song has to be greater than the song that was great back in the days? Stay in your lane, stay in your place, and understand that this is a different era, different time, a different situation. I'm not, like I said, I'm not disputing that Astrobot is not going to be good. When you look at it, it looks fun. It looks like something I definitely want to get my hands on when it jumps to PC. I'm not worried about it. You know what I'm saying? But I want to experience the game just like everybody else does that's interested in it. But let's not stop trying to compare this stuff to, especially when Sony has been shooting blanks for a very long time, this generation, and they got a hit. They look like they got a hit on their hands. And the meta scores are so ridiculous to me. It's just nonsensical. The gaming media situation is a problem. It's not enjoyable to read most of the time. It's because it's so biased. It's so there's some that do try to keep it level head, try to keep it right. But it's this type of BS here when you label something to this degree, to where it's supposed to be that is a better. Or on the level of that, man, sometimes I got a question. Like, did you actually really play Mario 64? Did you play, you know what I'm saying, some of these great Mario games? Or some of these great platformers Nintendo dropped through history? Come on now, stop it. Let's not touch that. Let's not touch that whatsoever. And let's say it does become better than Mario. Let it happen first. Well, I mean, if it happens, then it happens, but I doubt it. Like, you have to really have to really be, it has to hit like that. Like, it has to hit. And I doubt it. I just don't believe it. I don't. I mean, because remember, they were trying to do this with Ratchet and Clank. And Ratchet and Clank is fun. They're great games, but they're not on the mark. They're not on nothing Nintendo does when it comes to the platforming of their legacy titles. And nothing is on that level of what Zelda does. It's just they're in their own lane. Like, that's the same thing with Halo. After all these years, there's nothing comparable to what Halo has done. It's a God tier legacy title. You can't mess with it. And really, come to think about it, there's only, and with it coming to racer spots, there's not a game that's on the level of Forza and GT. There's just not. Other racers out there, Need for Speed, they sell fantastic. They do well. They're up there in the echelon, but they're like to me third out of those three. And people can place which one is better than the other out of Forza and out of GT. But those games are God tier legacy titles. You can't touch those. You can't touch God of War. You can't touch Gears of War. You can't touch certain games and then try to make them comparable. Like, it's just like when they try to bring Drive Club and say that it was the Forza killer. It died. You know what I'm saying? Like, even when you look at games like Fortnite and Overwatch, those games are God tier live service games. It's just different. You just don't want you don't want to throw that BS out there saying that those games are better than this and that game is better than that. Let them grow and to be good. I doubt highly seriously, Sour, that the Astrobot is going to be better than Nintendo 64's Mario. No. I mean, now if you want to talk about like game, the way that just because of graphics or more innovation because of the hardware, you can sit there and say, well, that's probably where you place it at. But then if you really look at it from and that's where we go from talking about, well, oh, so you're going to judge this game because let's think of what Mario 64 would be on hardware like a PlayStation 5. It would dog walk, I'm sure, Astrobot. So that's the thing to me, is like, let that game sit there and be great. Stop trying to compare these games to great games. I mean, you could say this game, I feel that's going to be up there. If you say, I feel that this game is going to be up, that's okay, cool, whatever. But not to say it's going to be better. I just don't believe that. Thank you, man, Big Bad Mo. It is, no doubt about it. But like I said, I just wanted to talk about Astrobot for a hot second, just to say kudos for the game doing good. It looked great from when we all seen it. It was one of those games that caught our eye during all these events that we seen during the summer. And you know, it's up there. It was up there to me with that game with the was it a banana? No, it was a bean. That bean game. I can't wait to find out more about that game with the action packed bean. That looked really, really fun, really dope. So I also am seeing that they're like, okay, so the Warhammer game. I'm looking at people and see, this is how I judge things, right? If I don't have a chance to play it myself, I see what people are posting on social media. I'm hearing people having a blast playing Warhammer right now. But then I see that PC Gamer gave it a 60, a 6 out of 10. See, this is why I don't trust it. This is why I never trust reviews from these big companies. They don't make sense to me. They just don't. They don't. They gave Final Fantasy VII Rebirth 10s. 10s. I don't hear anybody talking about Rebirth anymore. You know how many times that people talk? I mean, people still to this day, not as much, but still to this day talks about God of War 2018. I mean, we really have to, we really have to be serious about this, man. We really got to be serious about this. It's gonna probably be a candidate. Cool. Just like I think that Hellblade 2 should be a candidate, a nominee. You know what I'm saying? But my God, like nobody's talking about Final Fantasy Rebirth. Once that game came out, people, I mean, hell, there was a lot of people saying they couldn't finish it. What up, Lady Foxfire? So again, we're talking about, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. I just think that like these reviews, you give these reviews 10s, we know how this works. We've been knowing how this works. It is what it is. I've talked about it I've like a million damn times, but I just had to sit there. And when I seen this from my brother Smooth, I'm just kind of like, yeah, bro, that, you know what I'm saying? I'm still on the front lines and I'm still fighting. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's just that the fact of it is that, listen, man, you don't have to, but to say, oh man, you know, yeah, I don't know. I ain't feeling that. I don't feel that I am not ever going to get into that position like this. And then all the stuff that's been going on with Sony, this whole generation has been lackluster compared to every other generation. And it's still all of a sudden, now we're right back. See, and like I said, I got to give PlayStation fans their credit. I got to give them their flowers on this because they stand by PlayStation. They stand by it. They stand by it through thick and thin. They fought amongst each other this week. It was pretty funny, but for the last week. But it's one of those things to me. But though they're still here and they're celebrating. They're good. Xbox gamers, even when something goes good, they can't celebrate. They still worried about something else. It is one of those things where it's just, you know, it's just annoying as hell. So I don't know. You said, Jeremy Brown said, I never liked Mario 64. It was my least favorite Mario game. Okay, gotcha. He said those Final Fantasy VII games should have been on everything. No, absolutely they should have been on everything. They didn't sell nowhere near what they were supposed to sell. I mean, and again, no Final Fantasy game, none of the Final Fantasy exclusive games have outsold Final Fantasy 15. None of them. Hell, I don't even know if you add them all together, that's dropped, that's sold the amount. If you combine the amount, have sold more than Final Fantasy 15. That tells you that right there. You can sit there, the stands can go crazy and say, oh man, you know, it only sold 500,000 or whatever, 700,000, a million or something. It's still, regardless, it was on everything and it sold 15 million. It broke a record that no other Final Fantasy that's been exclusive to PlayStation has broke. None of them. None of those exclusive PlayStation Final Fantasies has broke the record from Final Fantasy 15 yet. To this day, that it was a one-day historic run. One day. And then the week, it raked. So again, we got to start with, it was a good one. I know, Big Man Mo, not all Xbox gamers, but there's just some that just bitch and complain and cry. All this game, and I don't have enough. I'm retired and I still don't have enough time to play as many games as out right now. my Xbox and my PC on Xbox, through my, playing, well, I'm on my PC playing, Wukong. But when I'm playing, some of my PlayStation, I mean, my Xbox games, I'm playing them on my app. And then, if you know what I'm saying, when I turn on my Xbox is, I mean, I'm I'm putting in so much time right now on all different types of games. It's crazy. There's so much to play. And actually, we need a break. I mean, hell, it's great that it's not great that it didn't come when it dropped on everybody else. Now that, don't let me lie to you about that. But there's so much other stuff to play before it comes to Xbox that is not that bad of a deal when you look at it from that. It was kind of like with Boulder Gates 3. We all knew that it was going to come to Xbox, and it came earlier than what a lot of people anticipated. But then by the time that it did drop, it dropped in a perfect time. It dropped right in the lap where people had time to jump in and play it in December, when usually some of them, well, I mean, hell, games are coming in all year round at some point. And if that's not a game that you want that's new for that month, hell, there's so many deals and stuff going on that you can buy something that you was looking for and you can play that. Man, it's just so much to play right now. I you know what I'm saying? I can't overstress anything right now. I really can't. Let me go ahead and read this from Jay. Thank you, man, for the super chat. I really do appreciate it. He says, I don't know a single Xbox fan that's happy with Microsoft's direction. However, Xbox is about to be the market leader. I give it a year. I won't give it that quick. I will not say it's going to be that quick, but I definitely say by next gen, it's a wrap. We're already seeing it. We're already seeing it. And it's still not the full-fledged onslaught that we know that's coming. You know, forget about what we don't know that's coming. It's the full-fledged onslaught that we know that's coming that's going to help that. Now, again, the direction that they're doing it, I don't like it. You know what I'm saying? I don't like it. There's a lot of people that don't like it. I just feel like I was cool with it if it's, like I said before, the 20 to 30% Xbox keeps exclusives, and then everything else can go to everything else. I ain't tripping. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be tripping on that. I think that that's a brilliant idea. But if you're talking about doing Project Latitude and that means everything must go, then I do have a problem with that. But yeah, no, there's no question that it's going to be the market leader. I said this before the Series X came out, that Xbox was going to be the market leader without selling the most consoles because of the strategy. And I thought it was mostly with what they were doing with Game Pass and putting Game Pass on and Game Pass on PC, Game Pass, and then when they got, and this was before they even got Activision, I was just thinking what they were doing with ZeniMax, the games that they were coming out with, that people were going to want to play, and Game Pass was going to grow substantially, and it still will grow crazy because of the fact of Call of Duty. So when you've got everything else that's dropping, you know what I'm saying? So now, from what my previous thoughts about Game Pass just blowing the hell up, getting over that 100 million, then you have to pump the brakes a little bit, because if they're going to start putting games on PlayStation and Nintendo as well, then not everybody will be on Game Pass like that, except for games like Call of Duty and maybe some games like Elden, well, not even Elden Ring, because they'll probably buy it. But I mean, it is whatever the case may be. I mean, Xbox is still going to rake. So it's not, I mean, Xbox gamers is, like I said, I don't know if I said it last week or if I said it 2 weeks ago. Xbox gamers still benefit. The direction I don't like, but hey, you know what I'm saying? I mean, originally I know Wulong is still not on Xbox, but it's going to come to Xbox. That's the whole point. Like, Wukong is still coming. That's the thing. Like, I mean, we could, I mean, hell, the game just came out, in August? I mean, just think about how long, I mean, Baldur's Gate came out in August, and it dropped on Xbox in December. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it's not the end of the world, especially if you have plenty stuff to play. It's not, is it a problem? Yeah, but it's not the end of the world. Let's not get crazy, Richilli. Let's not get wild with it. Like, it's just one of these things. It's like, yeah, it's an inconvenience. It's not something that's detrimental to Xbox failure or some bullshit. It's just an inconvenience. If it flips, right? Like, let's just say Sony worked out a deal, a bigger deal, to where they wanted to keep it off of Xbox, then that would be a problem, and that would be part of Xbox fail, or if not, unless we come out with the truth of that PlayStation did pay to keep it off of Xbox. Then, I mean, it's just one of those things where I would, you know what I'm saying, where, again, can you be mad at Xbox for them not knowing that this type of deal was happening? Because this is certainly a different type of deal that's going on here that we've never seen from Sony, and no telling how many times Sony have done things like this, or unless this is a new approach because they want to stay away from the regulators, because the regulators is going to be eating their ass up here pretty soon after these elections, to where they're because these regulators is coming after big tech. They're not playing, and Sony has been riding high right now. And I think this is another step for them to go another direction, instead of being broad and posting this and doing that. Because again, those regulators is watching now. They're watching. So if this come out to be where this is a deal, and they keep this game off of Xbox, then that's a major problem. But I don't know, if I was Xbox, I'd sue their ass. I'd sue them. I'd go after them just like Sony did over Activision. I would get them because if Sony gets away with doing that, then they ain't gonna stop. So, we'll see, but it's coming. Big Mamo, you think? Oh no! I disagree. I think Wukong is a must buy. I think Wukong is a must buy. I've been playing it. It's one of my game of the years. It's up there with. I have Hellblade 2 as a candidate as a candidate for game of the year. I have Wukong. I haven't played Final Fantasy VII Rebirth yet. So, but I'll take people's word for it for being a nomination. I definitely know that Astro Bot will definitely be. And then we'll get into other games, probably, getting into the winner. Like if there's a sleeper, like, well, I don't know if they'll do it because it's not controversy. It's just only on the internet. But I mean, we'll look and see, because I think this Assassin's Creed is going to be fantastic. I think this is going to be up there with Origins. I really think this is going to be a fantastic Assassin's Creed. But there's plenty of other games that's coming, that's dropping, that can knock something else out and maybe be in the forefront. But we know that Astrobot's going to definitely be up there in the talks. But I mean, it doesn't have to be. That's what it seems like right now. You know what I'm saying, Raw. But I man, look, they're coming. And if people bring out more attention to it, especially if this is true about Sony and the Black Myth situation, and it's like when I posted about the indie game that was talking about that they've been reaching out to Xbox, which I thought that was wild. Like, I mean, if you really wanted your game to come out there, then you would think that you would reach out a little bit more, and maybe them putting it out on social media is their type of reach out. Okay, got it. But anyway, that's worked out and that's patched. But I mean, that got a lot of stands pissed off at me for posting that. And when I said, hey, guilt by association, I don't know what Sony's doing these days. You know what I'm saying? I mean, hell, they got to do whatever they can to have content for their fans. So, you know what I'm saying? And they damn sure don't have no, homegrown, or I forgot what the organic stuff that the PlayStation gamers want. So, I mean, except for Astrobot right now. So they got to do whatever they got to do. So we'll find out and see. I'm sure more information will come out, or maybe not. The media don't really seem to want to rush on getting out information on Sony like they do on Xbox. It is glaring. It's very glaring. Yeah, I mean, I love the combat in Hellblade. Everything about Hellblade 2 was a much more superior game. Don't let those people that tell you that it's not better than Hellblade 1 lie to you like that. They fraud the public like hell. They are firing. They are lying. They are frauding the public. They are lying their ass off. That game is substantially better in every category, from the puzzles, graphics, music, acting, Everything is much better, much better. I went through and beat it twice. Still haven't found that damn room. I still ain't found that damn room. I got to go back again and go through so I can find that last room so I can have that 1,000. But yeah, went through it twice just to make sure that I love this game that much, and I did. And I'm like, yo, fantastic, fantastic. And I don't go back and play games like that unless I really, really, really like them. And so yeah. I love it. I love it. I just think that what's up, Bubba Glotz? What's up with you, Bounty? Man, let me go ahead and read some of what people saying here. Hellblade 2 needs an arena mode where you fight endlessly. Oh man, see, that's what I liked about Hellblade. I would love that, kind of like what they did with Rise, which I would love to see another Rise, but of course, Rise will be a multi-plat. Because I believe those rumors now. I think that we'll get another Rise, but yeah, no. If Hellblade took on to what Rise did with the multiplayer aspect of it, oh my god, how sick would that be? Ooh, man, just really good stuff, really good stuff. What up with you, Ocular? What's happening with you, brother? I don't know. I just think that again, we just have to the whole game thing, and I guess I should go ahead and talk about the other stuff with it. It's just with, the benefits of, I hate the fact, well, let me tell you what I feel where Xbox is at fault from and what Xbox isn't, in my opinion. It's going first off with that one game that I posted about, the indie game, that now that they finally posted. Let me go find what that game is, show them respect, and just say, instead of saying that game. Where is it at? Where's it at? Oh, there we go. There we go. Let's see. Oh yeah, it's the last song, Tira, something like that. Whatever. The last song, that's the game that I'm talking about, that they came out and posted. We would like to officially thank Phil Spencer and his team for reaching out to us for promptly and helping to resolve our situation. We would also like to thank our amazing community for all the support shown in recent days. Your voice has been heard very loud and clear, and your comments have been heartwarming. We are now working closely with Microsoft, and we hope this collaboration will lead to the game's release for Xbox as soon as possible. See, this is the thing. All this was that, listen, again, I got to go to this. If you wanted your game out bad enough, you're going to do some reaching out. And so what you did is went to the internet, and then, because this is what the internet does. Oh my God, doom and gloom. It's the Series S, it's Series S. Little man has nothing to do with any of this bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Nothing. This is just Xbox having a standard of where they want these games to play, and there's multiple standards. It's like with the situation with Wukong, right? Like, I've seen people that played this. I've been watching gameplay of people playing it on the PlayStation 5, and that game, and I mean, sometimes when I'm playing it on PC, there's some times where you sit there, oh, well, because them frames will drop, but then it'll get back up and it'll get solid again. But there's times I've seen people where they go through everything. I saw Still Rain. He was fighting a particular boss, and he went through the floor and all that. And then, I'm hearing that some people's consoles was getting bricked from the Star Wars games and things like that. See, like, again, I would want Sony to have that type of same structure of like, look, man, you can't be bringing these games on here like this. I mean, case in point, when you looked and played a game like Borderlands 3 and on the Xbox One X, that bad boy would shut your Xbox down. And from my understanding is, if you keep having games to do that to your console, it's going to burn him up. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that, I'm sure that could still probably do the same thing for your PC. That part, I don't know. But for the consoles, though, from what I've read, what people state, it said that, that works on them. It says that's one of those things that will lead to busting up your console. I don't want that. Listen, I want them to make it happen. I understand it. Again, we're talking about inconvenience, but I want them to, if these companies are wanting to put out these games and these games aren't giving you the best performance that they possibly can, then yeah, Xbox should hold that standard because they want that standard to have, they want gamers who's spending money on those games to have a good experience. I don't see why anybody would have a problem with that. But of course, people do because of the whole inconvenience issue. We've said people may call these devs crybabies, but like when you get a problem with your telecom company, nothing like media attention to get things moving. No, you're right. You're right. No, that's absolute truth. That's exactly what they did. They felt like Xbox wasn't coming to their needs when they wanted to. And so Xbox finally reached out to them because there was enough of an outcry. And so now you'll see more of this. You won't see this with PlayStation though, because PlayStation ain't going to give a damn. Like, well, sure, you ain't putting your game on my shit then, if that's how you feel. It's the difference between where it seems like gamers on Xbox panic on every damn thing instead of just letting the process work out the way that it is. It's just like with the whole Marvel versus Capcom situation, the collections, right? Now, I would still hope that we can get the I think it's the S&K collection, or the SVC, the S&K versus collection or whatever. It dropped last month. It dropped last month. I kind of felt that was. I kind of thought that and the SNK collection that's going to be coming out. It's called SVC something Chaos, SVC Chaos. That dropped. I don't think that game, I'm hopefully that game could be one of those games that can drop on Xbox. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that, but I mean, the biggest attention is for the Marvel versus Capcom collection and also the Fighters collection too. They had Power Stone and all that on it. So yeah, those games definitely need to come on. And so now Xbox has worked on those. Those were Xbox problems right there, because Xbox should have been aware of that situation with their framework stuff, or the frame MTs or whatever, framework MT or whatever it was called. Yeah, that's an Xbox problem, and I totally agree with anybody that was upset with Xbox for not having that, because it kind of looks in that it's kind of that situation where it's kind of we don't care about fighting games, and so therefore does people care about? Yeah, no, we do. Get that shit on there. Get it on there. Stop doing that. So yeah, no, I'm glad that those games are finally coming. It's going to be, again, inconvenience that it's coming later. Should have been something that they had to do. But with this game here, with Wukong and the last song, no, and then also I believe it's with Baldur's Gate 3. Listen, if Xbox has a standard to where they want it to be addressed to where gamers can play it at the best on the console, I don't think anybody should have a problem with that. I have no problem with that. No problem with that. And what had me cracking up about this game, the last song in Terra, is that the stands over here were going crazy. They were all on me, just mad. And they were making retweets and all this because I made the point to, like, look, Sony must have made another deal. And like I said, guilty by association. I guess I was wrong on the matter. But regardless of it, you know what I'm saying? I'll admit that I was wrong on it. But still, like I said, guilt by association. The way Sony plays, I don't trust anything from Sony. I don't trust nothing from them. So therefore, until the information comes out, I'll be a man enough to address it and say I was wrong on it. But still, it doesn't matter. When they came all out here to talk all this shit to me about how this game is this and that and the third, I guarantee you 90% of those people that was on my neck about it are not going to buy the game or support the game. It will be mostly people like me that sit there and pointed something out, and I will eventually get this game just because. And I mean, I've seen the game. It's a Souls-like game. It's not bad. It kind of has a Liza P vibe to it, or maybe if Flintlock, you know what I'm saying, just a different take, because Flintlock has a cool premise with the spirit god that gives you the powers and stuff like that. But yeah, no, it doesn't look like a bad game at all. It's just that, most of those people aren't going to support it. So why are y'all bitching? You know what I'm saying? Like, and like I said, if I'm wrong about something, I'll admit that I'm wrong. I was wrong. But hey, it is. And also with my post, it was supposed to be a question mark, not a period. But I forgot I didn't put the question mark. So therefore, I'll take the L on it. But regardless of that, I just feel that, listen, why would y'all want to die on this hill when y'all are not going to be showing me that gameplay? Show me that gameplay. Show me them trophies, suckers. Do that. I promise you, none of you. I promise you, half of you. I'll say 80% of you. I said 90. I'll give you another 10%. I think 80% of y'all bastards will not support that game. So we'll see. We'll definitely see. He said, Curie, what did you say? He said, C Money exposed in Terra this afternoon. I laughed so hard. Oh, what did he say? I didn't know. What happened? Ocular fan, what's going on? He said, nothing much. He says my 4070 Ti Super was malfunctioned mode, had to call customer service for help. Guy helped a lot. He told me to call back and to fix the RGB lights. Oh, okay. All right. So it's mostly, is it the light situation that's the problem? I don't know. So it is whatever. Yeah. Anyway. Okay. And so Cypress, Cygnus, what's going on? He says Phil stepped in and fixed the problem. Yeah, no, he did. He came in. But I just, like, again, but I just see, if you really want some, listen, Xbox don't need to reach out to you. You need to reach out, find every way possible to reach out to Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo to get your game on everything, right? Like, they did what they had to do. They got on the internet and they pushed for it and they got what they wanted. But it seems like to me, a couple of months, you've been waiting for Xbox to call you. Wait a minute. Xbox has so many games right now to drop. This ain't it, Jack. This ain't how you do business. We know that you worked hard on the game, but that's not how you do business. You know what I'm saying? Hell, when people want something to be shown and seen, you reach out to the people that you want to get your item to. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't sit there and wait. Oh man, I tell you what, I'm gonna go ahead, man. I got this business card, but I'm gonna wait for this company to hit me up. Well, good luck with that. You just gonna be sitting there with your business card because the company ain't gonna give two shits about what you're doing. Come on now. Come on. Stop it. But again, Phil Spencer, great guy, gamer. No, you know what I'm saying? It deserves all the credit in the world for a lot of things. He does deserve some blowback on this idea. But I mean, listen, we'll see how this works. But don't know. But I will give Phil a record of 85% positivity and greatness, and I'm giving him the 15 of negativity because of the, and I don't care about the VR thing. I don't care nothing about it. But he did say on stage about the VR thing, and then this situation where he told people that this was going to be a case-by-case basis, then to go into where he's like, this kind of might be the full slate. I don't know. I have no idea. We'll see what happens. Because we still don't really fully know if it's the full slate or not. Stands will say it is. They pray that it is because they can have something to play and they can play good quality content. But other than that, who knows? But yeah, I got to give them that 15%. And if it's a whole slate, I might have to drop it I have to raise it up another 5% to 20. You know what I'm saying? Because listen, as long as I'm getting the perks that I'm getting, I'm cool with it. You know what I'm saying? And then I know that, it's like what I said before about the console. It does depreciate the console to people who are looking for a secondary console or for new console buyers. They can look at the Xbox and be like, man, the Xbox got heat. I want to get this. Oh, PlayStation's getting this. And then they may have friends. Most of their friends might be playing on PlayStation. Or let's say they got friends that's playing on Nintendo and some of these same titles that they're looking at is going to be playing on Nintendo. You know what I mean? Like that's the drawback. That's the drawback. It's for it where it depreciates the Xbox console is for first time console buyers and a person that's looking for a secondary console buyers. But for us first time Xbox buyers, we we're getting all types of benefits. So I said the console is not it does not depreciate for us, the people who will buy an Xbox before we buy anything else. So I've said that numerous times. I'll probably keep saying that until we find out the full level of what they're doing with these games that's going forward. If they're going to keep things off, or if they keep things, if you know what I'm saying, listen, because I mean, Starfield was supposed to be one of these games that was supposed to come over there to PlayStation already. This was supposed to be announced. Now, again, could it still be announced? Absolutely, it could. It could be packaged up with Hellblade too. Who knows? I wouldn't want I wouldn't want neither one of those games to go over. But we'll see. We'll just see how they work. I don't get it. You said the lights had no problem. Oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? Same situation with the hack developers. Yeah, I'm saying, listen, I get it. Yes, Curie. His words has been grim. His words has been grim. It's okay. Curie's on Demon Time. She said the stands won't even have a PlayStation 6. Good God. Okay, listen. All right. We might as well get into it. All right. So again, I'm happy about Marvel vs. Capcom and those games are coming. I knew that Xbox was going to work on that. There was too much of a loud outcry. Because that was just not a good move. Not a good move whatsoever. Not a good move at all. From them. I was just like, man, come on. And it could be one of those things where they just didn't pay attention to it. And you know, but I'm glad that they worked it out. Hopefully from here on out, we ain't got to worry about that. When they make the new console, this will definitely be implemented on that, all that. So good. A problem solved. Here we go. Now, let's get to Sony right here. Let's get to it, because this is something that's fascinating to me. After having some really good news with Astro Bot, that's why I wanted to talk about that first. Now I'm about to get into that. Now I'm about to put boot to ass on this one, because this is just the reality of it. Sony definitely has a live service problem. They have a multiplayer game problem. They suck at it. They're ass with it. They're complete garbage with it. Let's call it what it is. And even though if they have great ideas for games, they push those games away for what you got. And I've not played Concord, so I will not dog the game out and say that the game is awful or bad. I've seen some people say that it's great. I've seen some people say it's okay. I've seen some people that said it was absolute, it was terrible, right? It was the same thing that I got and so I feel, because I know that there was mixed people about Bleeding Edge, and I will die on that hill till the end of days of how much Bleeding Edge mean to me and how much I love that game. And that game, if it still had, if it still had content coming in like it was supposed to, I think that game would have finally landed and hit, because it would have had another additional mode that people would have gravitated to on top of the other mode. And then they could have added some other elements to where people, if they didn't want to play all those other modes, oh my goodness. I just think Bleeding Edge had all the ingredients of being really, 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 really good. But again, didn't happen. So again, I feel that. So for people who like Concord, I'm not going to sit there and knock you for it. But, and listen, I'm not one of these anti-woke grifter weirdos out here that wants to see every digitized woman hot and sexy and Lord have mercy, go take your ass outside and go touch some grass and go touch some real ass. Stop being weird. God damn, some of you guys are just mentally just ill. Like, what is happening with you guys? Oh my God, she fixed it. Look at her. She looks great. She gonna look like that? With all that being said, those were some horrible designs. Not because there was chubby women or not, because I like all that. I like to see diversity. I'm all about DEI. Bring it all. Bring it all. I'm DEI king. Let's do it. I want it all everywhere. I want to piss all these racists off. You know what I'm saying? Rest in piss, you racist dogs. I feel, though, the designs of the characters looked goofy as hell. I don't know where they were angling with that. Like, you already have a bigger person, and then you put a big, thick jacket and a big armor, and you made them look weirder, and then the designs were awful. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's garbage to me. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying? And I get that. And that was the turnoff for me. It's what I said also with Concord, where I think Sony missed the mark on people to get into Concord, because when you showed the trailer looked like more of a good single player game, and they could have borrowed elements from Guardians of the Galaxy game from Square Enix. Because that's a really good game. Square Enix did a very piss poor job of bringing that game out, of presenting that game. Because when you looked at it, he's like, I don't know. But then when you actually played it, it's a fantastic game, right? So they could have easily took some things, took some elements from that, and have the people and have the gamers learn about the characters and see which characters that they like in a single player experience. You know what I mean? Like that game screamed a more single player shooter experience, or maybe, maybe a multiplayer, maybe like a co-op shooter experience, and have people like these characters, get to know these characters. But just coming out and making it a live service game and then charging $40 for it when it was just too dangerous of a stretch. And then to come to find out how long they worked on the game and how much the game cost. Look, I don't know, man. I feel bad for the studio, because I know that they poured their heart and soul into the game. And like I said, I'm not going to knock the game because I have not played it to that degree. I'm just going to knock the design of how some of those characters look. They just looked oddly goofy. But the gameplay, I'm sure, was good and tight. So it's, what I'm saying? So that's fine. Listen, he said, what did you say? He said, I'm hearing some static. Is that just me? I don't know if you're hearing some static, please let me know. I'll look and see. Maybe, hold on. Maybe if I turn this down a little bit, maybe there won't be so much static. I mean, maybe because when I raise my voice or whatever, then it might turn down. And if people are saying that I sound too low, then let me know on that as well. But I don't know. If you're hearing some static, please let me know. They got a character in a wheelchair just to be inclusive. Listen, I don't have a problem with like in Bleeding Edge, they had a character that was in like a Professor X like hoving chair. That's fine. I'm not having a problem with the characters being in a wheelchair. It's how some of the designs of them look like the characters, like the one female looking alien character with the white hair, and she looked scary more than she's supposed to look somewhat attractive. I don't know. It just didn't land. A lot of those characters, and now some character designs that was okay. That looked okay, that looked pretty good, but then there was just most of them just didn't, I wasn't feeling it. Now, again, I don't want every game to look like the first Descendant. Yes, they look hot, they're great, they look fantastic, but once you look at that TNA for so long, I'm wondering about what the game is, how the game is playing, what I'm going into, and then I completely forget about how the characters look in the first Descendant. I'm over here shooting and kicking ass. I'm not worried about all that. So again, when it comes to a character, that it's all about the presentation, and I think that the presentation of what the characters overall look like just didn't look great. Please continue to keep bringing characters that doesn't have to look totally attractive, or can be overweight, or that's gay, trans, that's a white male, a black male, a black female, a white female, Asian female. It don't matter. Bring it all, but just give us better design. Just better. Like the gear was just. Ugh. I just didn't like the way the gear looked. He said, oh no, Big Memo said, oh no, that's not what it really means. He must be talking about whatever. Jazzy Noob, what's up, brother? He said in Overwatch, people had stories behind the characters, and they were very interesting. These characters, it was almost like you didn't care. Right. That's my whole point of it. You would that's what you want to do, is bring an interesting story into into behind these characters. Now you could have done it like Overwatch. I was looking at it from like, since Sony PlayStation fans like to play single player or maybe a co-op game and just have a shooter, introduce those characters in a story in a game for the $40 game, and then have the multiplayer live service as a free to play. I think that would have resonated better, because you could have felt the game. You could have had the best of both worlds. I mean, it's something like I always give Sir X-Man his props for that, by saying that that's what Sony needs to do with a lot of their games, is present games kind of like what Xbox does, like what they did with Gears and Halo and so forth, like that. And I understand, but I mean, you put in over $200 million in 8 years of development, 6 to 8 years of development in that game. I don't know. I don't know. And then only come to find out that they said that they only sold 25,000. Look, Sony is, and I said this years ago. Sony bit themselves in the foot by trying, because they had this whole big slate of single player games that was coming towards 2016 on up to the end of the life cycle of the PlayStation 4. And so when the industry started to understand how the demographic was changing and how gamers, how these companies was making money, Sony was like, nah, man, we went all in on making these single player games. We need the media to be on our side to talk about how these people are bad people and they want to take away it sounds almost like politics right now, but they want to take away your single player game. And it worked, because you had all these people ranting and raving, talking about this is what I can't stand. You want to take away my single player games? No, that wasn't the case. That's not what Amy Hennig and even with Mark Cerny was right there in those interviews. It wasn't what Phil Spencer or the former CEO of EA was trying to express. It was saying, look, the money is in these free to play and these live service games. You people make tons of money off of this, right? And Sony raked when they dropped their single player games, right? They were great. But now look at it. See, the people already had their feel. You see what I'm saying? Like, Sony can still, and this is what I brought up last week. It's like, okay, I brought this up on last week on GRG. It's like, hold on, wait a minute. How many games, I said it on GRG, or I said it on My Thoughts last week. How many games that Sony has that are single player that you think that are massive hits? And we counted it up, and I think it was 8? That's a great list, but they bring out about 25 games, single player games. And if you got 8 games out of the 25 that don't hit, you're losing money. This is why what Curie was saying, like, it looks grim for PlayStation right now, because they have to be all in on multiplayer games. And the Call of Duty thing hurt them bad. You could tell the Call of Duty thing hurts them bad. Yeah, and so yeah, right, Cygnus. The meaning of woke has been stolen by the far right and made into pretty much a racist trope. Let's just keep it real. A racist, sexist trope. What the right wing has done is taken the word woke, from what I grew up on knowing what the word woke was, and they're using it as a sexist, racist trope. That's nothing more, nothing less. And I know that some people say, I'm not racist. Not saying that you're racist. So the people that invented this word to change it from what it was originally used for, which means to stay conscious, to be aware of the government, or, you know what I'm saying, or if you go into this town or things like that, you know what I'm saying? That's what it was. It was again, small history. It was made by a blues singer in the late 1930s or the early 1940s. And he made a song, and he was talking about other entertainers, black entertainers, or just people wanting to come visit from the north, coming to the south. You better be woke and you better be alert, because it's different out here, and they will pretend to be cool with you, but they ain't gonna be cool with you. And there's something that's not even gonna be cool with you at all. And so that's where it came from. And when I grew up, like, I'm seeing, family and everything, stay woke, my brother, do this, that's where it came from. What the right wing is taking it and doing it with, it's egregious, but it is what it is. But that's what I'm saying. Like when I say I'm anti-woke, I'm talking about anti-woke, right wing, how are they using it now? Not from how it originally came from. Anyway, back to the gaming. This whole thing with this whole thing with Sony, that what really trips me out is that they and it made it work, but now it's hitting them now because they're not selling these games at the capacity, and the games that they're just not. You got, okay, Spider-Man 2 did well, but is really Spider-Man 2 do better numbers than Spider-Man 1? Spider-Man 2018? I do not think so. Miles Morales was a different type of game, but still, it didn't do the same type of numbers, right? God of War Ragnarok, it broke records. I think that's the only game that probably did better than God of War 2018. But that I would have to look at it again. I think it would probably be close if it didn't. But I'm going to say that it did. Horizon Forbidden West did not. It didn't. Gran Turismo, GT Sport did not. GT didn't. So, listen, you can only live on the single player tip for so long. So that's why Jim Ryan made the move that he did. That's why they got rid of Sean Layton, because Sean Layton was like, this is our strategy. This is what we got to do. Cut some funding on some things and do this. And then this is why they fed you guys. And I believe that it's kind of the split between Sean Layton and what he was trying to do, and then what Jim Ryan and what he did. And now Hulse has got to try to fix this some kind of way, because Sean Layton was the reason why we got these remasters. And then now what you see from what Jim Ryan is doing, from what you got these games like that was supposed to be the Spider-Man MMO, and then you were supposed to do the Factions 2 and all this and that. Now Hulse has got to figure out how to balance this. And so, like when you got the head of Sony sitting there saying, "Look, man, this isn't, this ain't it. We in trouble." That's exactly what he's saying. Like, what can they do? So, you know what I'm saying? He said, "Proud people took away my rainbow." He chilly said, "Proud people took away his rainbow." You still got your rainbow, brother. It just, you know what I'm saying? You just don't represent it like those people do. So it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't take the word woke away from me like I use it, but I've just used it as a point for talking about the crowd that talks about it now, the word woke in this new form that they use it now. Those words in your rainbow is still the way that you want it to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, if some people represent something, that doesn't mean that, and I understand what you're saying. Like, if you wear something or you have a rainbow something, somebody might assume that you might be homosexual or something like that. Like, nah, you know what I'm saying? Transgender or whatever. It's not an issue to just tell people, no, I just like these colors. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't got a problem with anybody. I just like these colors. This is not what I'm representing. They can have it the way they want to have it, but this is how I want to have it. And I don't think anybody should be mad or offended by that. There might be. People get mad and offended about every damn thing these days, but I don't think that that's an issue or whatever. But they didn't take it. You use it for however you want to. But anyway, I just think that, honestly, when we have this situation of where PlayStation is gone from making these single player games, and now they have to take so long to make these single player games, it just ain't the math. The math is funny. The math is really, really, really damn funny. You cannot allow yourself to think that Sony can still thrive the way that they have without having some live service games succeed. That's why I've been saying for the last week or two, is that, look, Marathon has to hit. Marathon, and then I guess this other game that's coming out at some point, Fair Games, I think that it's called, or whatever. These games, one of these two games, if not both of them, has to hit. And one of them has to be a massive hit. Like, it has to hit. It can't be semi-lukewarm hit. It has to hit. So, and because if that's the case, Bungie is completely gone. They'll be completely cooked. Because you see how Sony has done Concord. I mean, 2 weeks in, 2 weeks in, as much as a disaster as Redfall was, Redfall is still playable. Unbelievable. You can still boot up Bleeding Edge. I don't think you're going to get a game. The last time I tried to boot up Bleeding Edge, I sat there for 10 minutes and I didn't get one match, unfortunately. But that game still is playable. I mean, think about this. Crackdown 3, if you could get 6 people to jump in on Crackdown 3, you can play Crackdown 3's multiplayer. Concord is gone. I don't know, man. Sony has a big problem with the online games, and that's what I'm saying. Like, Call of Duty really hurt them. That's why they fought so hard to try to stop it. And this will be and listen, people are going to think, and I've seen somebody say, well, the money that Xbox is going to give them, that 30% that Sony's going to get, is going to be on deals, kind of like what some people are speculating about Black Myth and other games to keep off of Xbox. That could be necessarily true. But then when you think about something like with Call of Duty, yeah, that 30%, that might hurt to try to hurt Xbox, but they ain't making that same money. Xbox is going to be raking, on top of the fact that each Xbox game, and this is why I say this is genius, is diabolical in a sense almost. It pisses us Xbox gamers off, but it's almost diabolical because it seemed like the kumbaya thing is like, oh man, Xbox has turned all kumbaya on us and don't have no sense of wanting to win anything. Nah, man, this will decimate Sony. But before it's all said and done, this will decimate them because they won't be able to keep up if they don't have multiplayer live service games that will hit. But because Sony has made this initiative that single player games are the most important thing on PlayStation, their fan base believes that and they stick by it. I had to see J-Dub sit there and have to correct the PlayStation dude because I just want PlayStation to go back to the same ways. He said, the hell you do? Because the reality of it is that they have to change with the times. More and more gamers appreciate and like these multiplayer games. It's just the facts. This is where the money is. And spending money on games, hundreds of millions of dollars, and then you go through all this time of making a game. And when you make that game, and that game doesn't even bring half of what you've earned that you put into the game, it's almost a waste. That's why these companies are maneuvering the way that they are. It's not saying that I like it, but I think that where the worst part of the strategy is that they have come out and they've set a tone to where they want to hold themselves just a little bit by bringing out these remakes and remasters and all this other stuff to sit there and to bring out, Ghost of Tsushima 2 and all these other type of games that people are anticipating. And yeah, they'll do well, but then what about everything else underneath and everything, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. I don't know. They are in a weird situation. And if they can't land something, you know what I think that Sony should do? And I think they're already doing it now. And I think they got the marketing rights to Battlefield. As a Battlefield fan, this hurts me to say this, but I don't think it's going to help because Battlefield is in a weird situation too. EA better bring it with Battlefield. I, as a Battlefield fan over COD, hands down, I love Battlefield more than I love COD. But I find myself playing more Call of Duty here in the last 2 years than I have Battlefield 2042. That's how disappointed I was in how they did that game. And I know that Battlefield 2042 is a lot better now, but I'm still feel tainted how they did me when I sit there and I paid the $100 and some dollars for the game day one, and then you just kind of let me look like a fool by picking it up, and then this is what you deliver, and then we got to wait 2 years before you actually really, well, I should say about a year, about a year and a half, or maybe I'll say a little bit over a year until they really started picking up and getting the game proper. That's not going to cut it. That's the same reason why with Halo Infinite, I have I'll never hate a Halo game. I will never hate a Halo game, but I have this love kind of like vibe with Halo Infinite because of how how you brought that game and how fantastic it was, and everything was going in the right direction, and then you just kind of, come on, man, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that to my beloved shooters. Don't do that. So, and I know that Halo Infinite is popping now, but that's my thing, is where if something is not presented, I can be patient. If it comes out and it'll be a little rough or whatever, but if I have to wait over 6 months for you to get shit right, then no, man, I'm gonna I have a different strategy. I have a different thought process about how I will be assessing your next game. And like I said before, I'm not buying Battlefield, the next Battlefield day one. So again, Sony I think already got the marketing rights for Battlefield, but Battlefield is on the clock. People are waiting to see what Battlefield is going to do. And I don't know if that's going to make a difference, especially when everybody is clamoring about how much they enjoying Black Ops. I've seen a few stands try to be negative about it, but there's not one person I've seen in DMs or in just watching online. People are loving Black Ops. I think Black Ops 6 is going to rake, man. I think this thing is going to be massively huge. So let me see what the people in the chat say. Richili said, Gabe knows this and look at him. Yeah, I know. Oh, no, hold on. He's talking to Cygnus. He said the money is on the third part, is on the third part, 30% cut. Yeah, I know. The 30% cut, but it's not what they were getting before. Like their marketing deals was where they were getting way more money in play, and Xbox wasn't. Especially with the COD deal. That deal was 80-20. Xbox was getting 20%. Bro. 80-20. Like that is nuts. Now Xbox is saying, okay, cool, we'll get that 70%, and 70% of what Black Ops 6 is gonna make. Oh man, on PlayStation, cooking. 70% of what Nintendo's gonna be making off of man, they're gonna rake. They're gonna rake. And this definitely hurts PlayStation, because in a sense, PlayStation really didn't need to come up with any live service games per se because of the deal that they struck. So now they have to, and it's one of these games that's got to hit. And now Destiny is at the end of its life cycle. I mean, you would think that Destiny, because of how popular Destiny was, but I think it just got to a point to where people just got tired of playing Destiny. I don't hear anybody talking about the last. Hell, I can't even think of the name of this last thing. I've heard good things about it, but I don't hear nobody talk about it at all. Talk about this last expansion. I don't hear anybody talking about it anymore at all. I don't even see people showing gameplay of it. So I seen more gameplay being shown from the what was it? Was it Lightfall? I think that was called. Yeah. But no, I'm not seeing. I seen a little bit when it first dropped, and people said it was really fun, and then I haven't heard anything else. And that's not a good sign. So the next Battlefield should be in the 1800 area. Stop it. I know you're saying that you're playing. But anyway, I just feel my last part on this is that I think Sony needs to reevaluate something. I say Sony go ahead and try to pull one of those games that they cancel. I don't know if they can, though, now. I don't know how that process works. I guess once a game is canceled, that's it. It's over. Like, because I guess all the resources and the money and the time and all that stuff is like, you would have to start over from scratch maybe. So if that's the case, then yeah, I think the biggest mistake was not having Factions 2 or the Spider-Man. But I can understand the Spider-Man thing more than anything because of them cutting that, because Disney is going to get their money, and Disney is, and I think that's another reason why Xbox went ahead and just announced it, which I didn't like the way that they announced it so early, before Xbox gamers get their hands on it. But Disney want their money, and this game has to sell so many in order for them to continue to work on these other games, and maybe Xbox is looking to try to get a Deadpool or something of that nature. And if push comes to shove, this could be a situation where Sony's going to have to make some moves. And these X-Men games that's coming out here, this Wolverine game that's coming out. They could go multiplat. They could go multiplat. I don't, maybe not the Wolverine game. I know the Venom game won't go multiplat. But the Wolverine game, maybe not. But the X-Men games, because they're further along, and if the Wolverine game, it will sell, no question. But if it's still not making money that Sony feels, or selling the consoles at a high rate, what's the point of still trying to keep it exclusive at that point? Like, I don't know. So Sony's gonna have to cut bait on something. I don't know what it's gonna be, but they're gonna have to cut bait on something. So I mean, we definitely know that they want to hold on to Spider-Man, but I don't know. Taking a big risk with the X-Men, it could hit. I mean, it could hit, and then it also could be a miss, because if Marvel makes one bad X-Men movie, that's going to resonate into the games. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, one reason why Spider-Man is still so popular is because the Spider-Man movies is hit. There's not been a bad Spider-Man movie that's come out since the MCU has been a part of it. You know, so I don't know. What's up, Stone King? I just think that this is a different type of situation. Yeah, Richie Lee, it was a low blow. It was a low blow. And like I said, Keeley had nothing to say about Concord, but he damn sure was right there about talking about Astrobot. Like, he's always going to be positive for Sony. He's never going to sit there and really post anything negative or have anything negative to say about Sony, which shows you where his allegiance lie heavily. And it's wild to me. It's very wild to me. So anyway, I just wanted to give my thoughts on this situation as usual. I just think that, like, again, Sony's got an online problem, got a live service problem. Marathon better hit, or this other game better hit. This Fair Games game, Fair Games, I think that's what it's called. It's got to hit. One of them's got to be a massive hit. I have hope for Marathon. I don't know about this other game, but you know, I don't think Marathon's going to be a bad game, but it's got to be a massive hit. And because the way that the PlayStation fan is structured, the way Sony has structured them, has kind of molded them to feel like just single player games is much more important than anything else. I just don't know. I don't know. So yeah. What's going on? So he says Warhammer Space Marines 2, too good on Xbox. It's too good on Xbox Series X. Looks like a Hive Busters. Man, I can't wait. I went ahead and I bought too many games, and so I had to skip out on that one. I even skipped out on getting NBA 2K at this point, because I mean I went crazy. I mean, because I picked up, as you see this game right here, I picked up Vision of Mana. I picked up Black Myth. There was some sales, picked up a couple of things from there. Finally picked up that fighting game. I played a little bit of it. It wasn't really and I got people making fun of me because I couldn't know how to pronounce it. The one fighting arena game. I will not try to present, because if Yobi was here, he would help me, but I can't anyway. But it's all right. It's all right. But anyway, then and then of course I got was playing Star Wars and, college football. I got college football, Madden. Hell, I've only booted up Madden. I haven't even really played any online games or any really long match or anything on Madden. So I got to get onto that too. So yeah, like, and I bought Test Drive. So I bought Test Drive Unlimited. So looking forward to trying that out. And so I'm like, yeah, I wanted to jump on Warhammer, but I was like, man, it's too rich for my blood right now. That, and then 2K, I was like, I'll get 2K probably when it comes to during the holidays, during Black Friday, when it's half off, and then and I'll get it by then. But Yeah, I'll sit there and find out about Warhammer. It looks dope though. It looks fantastic. But you saying it looks like Hive Busters, man, that is incredible. What up, Verge? So yeah, I definitely want to get my hands on that. You said you'll wait on Visions of Mana. Yeah, to be $5. Damn, no point of paying full price because it wouldn't support the devs who are closed down. Oh, come on now. No, I just when it comes to games like that, I want to show my appreciation. So I'll go ahead and I'll buy them day one. Like just like with I haven't even booted up. I haven't even booted up SMT Vengeance yet. I haven't even booted up. I bought it day one, haven't booted up. I mean, I've been all on nothing but First Ascendant in college football. That's all that was all on my gaming diet. That's all I wanted to play. So, but I wanted to get that, and I got that day one, and I got this day one. When these Japanese developers or Chinese developers, whatever, when they bring out something to Xbox, I want to show my appreciation for that because I know how the Xbox One generation was. It was awful when it came to getting games from Japan or from anywhere else. I just want to just hold it down. You know what I mean? That's what I wanted to do. So I just did not. I just had. That's why I wanted to get Warhammer, but I'm like, no, let me go ahead and get this Visions of Mana, and then I'll just kind of dip here, dip there, and play a little bit of this, play a little of that. Right now, my whole focus is mostly Black Myth. So you know what I'm saying. So yeah, I want to make sure that game is going to be beaten before we get to the next game. But that's just kind of how like my strategy's been. But yeah, so what's up? JJK? Yes, Lady Foxfire. JJK. Thank you. I'm not going to try to pronounce that fighter. No. It's okay. I mean, I only played it for about one or two matches. No, it was only one match. I got really tired. I finally got my sleeping patterns kind of back to the way they were. So I probably will start getting ready to start popping up late at night to play some fighting games, but starting to stream them. But I'm not going to try to pronounce that game. You know what I'm saying? Because I like the anime, but I always say it every time I'm country with it. You know what I'm saying? I say it wrong and I get corrected, but I'm really bad with this. Like I know Nino Kuni. I know that, but I always say Nino Kuni. So you know what I'm saying? Just because I just think it's more fun to say it that way. But yeah, no. This one, I'm not even going to try to say it. But yeah, JJK. I don't know. I just got to give it a couple of more matches with it and then see if I really like it. But oh well. Let me go and get out of here, guys. I really do appreciate it. What'd you say, Cygnus? We said we need JJK and Tekken format to market a triple A. You know, yes. I 100% agree. I 100% agree. I would have liked it to be more of a Dragon Ball Z style or Tekken style if you want to make it the 3D round thing, more than just being an arena fighter. You know what I'm saying? And it was kind of like but see, I liked My Hero Academia, right? Like I thought that was proper. I thought the way that they had it in that arena setting, I thought that was proper. Both of those are really good. I haven't played the Rumble. I haven't gave Rumble I didn't even download it. I know it's a free to play, but no. But yeah, that setting right there, seeing this, I 100% agree with you. I would have liked that game better built into that setting, like Tekken or Street Fighter, something like that. But if you wanted to have it with a 3D setting like that, like Tekken, yeah, perfect. I would probably be all over the kind of like, and see, like Naruto works for how it is. But yeah, this just feels just so different. I just need to get more time into it because I just like it. But I'll tell you this, I bought this one fighter. I played it once and and I knew I probably wouldn't like it, but I'm not a fan. And it's what is it? Something rock. It's a fighting game that works with music. And the King of Rock or something like that. I forget how it. Oh man, that's bad. It's not good. If you can find it for less than $5, I would say go ahead and get it. But I'm like, when I get started back Fight Night, I promise I'm going to start playing all these different fighters. And that one's going to be one of those first ones that I come to just let drop, or it'll be one of those games that when it's at the end of the evening, end of the stream, and then I'll just plop it, start it up and let people see it, because Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Anyway, what up, Rain? What's happening, man? You catch me right when I'm about to get out of here. You know what I'm saying? You say anime IPs got too much potential. Yeah, Bandai doesn't want to invest into it. You're right. I totally agree. Like Dragon Ball, I mean, Sparking Zero, good God. That if they would put that type of love behind that, I mean, listen, even a game like DNF Duel, which ain't sold very well, still a really good proper fighter. You know what I'm saying? Like if they would invest that type of style and look into those fighters, they would hit. They would have more fighting hits, because I mean, there's so much potential there. There's so much potential, so much. You said I love my hero show and games, but Rumble is okay. Okay, yeah, that's why I kind of didn't want to deal with Rumble. When they reduced it to a free-to-play, I was like, yeah, I don't know. Now, another game that I really do enjoy, and I hope they bring a sequel to it, and that is Demon Slayer. Like, that's a good fighter. I do hate the fact that it when you playing people online, that it drops to 30 frames per second, because like if I'm a frames per second whore for anything, it's fighters, racers, and shooters. Anything else, single player games, I don't give two shits about it. I don't care. Or even co-op games, I don't really care, because you're going against the computer, you're not going against another person. But yeah, no, that's still a really good fighter. And I like the fact that it has that story that follows, kind of like what they do with Naruto, when they let you reenact what's going on through what's going on through the games, through that saga or whatever. They didn't do that with the last Naruto, which was unfortunate, which I was hoping that they were going to do it. But still, they've improved on it greatly. When I first bought it day one, it was kind of bare bones, but now they're kind of fleshing out with the Naruto game, and it's on sale now. So I would definitely jump on that if you're a fighting fan as well. So yeah, now I got a tons of fighters that I need to show. I don't know, like I said, I'm kind of like on a mental hiatus when it comes to me want to do other content, but I'll get to it for sure. So anyway, guys, thank you so much. I really do appreciate the super chat. I appreciate you guys coming through. Appreciate you guys checking me out there on Twitter X. You know what I'm saying? So thank you guys. You know what I'm saying? Look, like, subscribe, you know what I'm saying? Hit that like button, hit the dislike button if you want. It is what it is, whichever. It doesn't matter to me, but you know what I'm saying? I really do appreciate it, man. I'll definitely be doing my thought videos every week. I'll just put a better notice out to when I'm going to bring them out. So yeah, but I really thank you guys so much for coming through. Everybody have a good afternoon. I'm finna go watch me a little bit of news, and then I'm finna get back on this Black Myth. I gotta get back on this. I gotta see what's going on with these Shaolin monks. That's where I'm at now. I'm on chapter 3 now. So we'll see what's at. All right, guys. See you later. Peace.